So this is my Autodesk Fusion screen here. I had the cancer scare, which in late November, which gave me a bit of a shock. Managed to do some more recording through that, but then in December, by the way, the cancer scare was negative. But in December, I caught some sort of a bug right before Christmas that escalated and wound up collapsing one of my lungs. So you can probably tell by my voice, I'm not at 100% yet, but I'm almost there. I thought I'd show you what I've been working on while I was, not able to do anything on the vehicle. The last thing I did was actually get my compressor ready, and then I had to kind of stop cold there, which is all right. It's been minus 30 and very difficult to work outside. But this is what I've been working on. This is, as I said, Autodesk Fusion. There's running down this side, there is a list of components in this, but it's not showing up on the video capture for some reason. So I'll just give you a quick rundown. This is the Austin 3D model I've been working on. This is obviously the outside. And here, I'll take a look around it for you. Here, there's a kind of get a good idea of. I haven't duplicated everything yet. You can see I've got some interior stuff too as well. And of course, this gives you different ways to look at it here. The underside's actually pretty cool. And then, of course, I can take the outer body off to show you what I've got here. So, as you can see, I haven't mirrored. I'm doing one side of it and then mirroring it to do the other. But there's no point in doing that until the side is done. One of the things you'll probably notice looking at this 3D model is it's not a 100% accurate representation of the car in real life. The most obvious thing is, look at the thickness of the metal here. The metal on the car is obviously not that thick in relative proportion to the size of the panel. In life, that would be, I think it's 18 gauge. And in reality, that's 2 millimeters thick. This model is being done in 1/8 scale. So instead of being like 18 gauge, I have a 3D printer, and 18 gauge reduced to 1/8 scale just will not print. So the minimum wall thickness for any kind of strength is 2 millimeters. So at 1/8 scale, that's the equivalent of basically half an inch thick. So you can see that that's not to scale, and as you probably surmised from what I was saying, this is I'm building a 1/8 scale model. I'm going to build it like a model car kit. So the all the pieces come in and out. So like this piece here that's highlighted along here, those don't exist on the car. We have an inner sill, which would exist on the car, and then the outer sill. But when we look at the outer sill here, this is a single piece. Here, let me pull this up here to show you. And I know you can't see the list of stuff over on the side here where my mouse is, and I'm sorry about that. But it, unfortunately, for whatever reason, is not. There we go. So I want that one there. So I'll take all this off here. I'm not making it disappear, obviously. I'm just making it invisible. So what we have here, just as an example, We got the inner and outer skin. So if I hide this, you can see. So this is designed with the hole there. That lines up. That's where the hole is on the outside of on the real car. There's a plug that goes there. And then when I um, put this back on, oops. So it lines up, and then when I pull that off, you can see the inside of the sill. There we go. So the inside of this edge here lines up with the structure that I have here. So this will glue together when I put it together, just like a model car, right? So we're setting it up to do that. I'm going to do a little bit more work on it here, but you can now see the where I'm at. Yeah, you get the idea. It's coming along. There's an awful lot more to this than I realized. So it's been months, but yeah, this is all going to go on my 3D printer. I'm going to print out a model car when it's done and see how it goes, and maybe even do a couple copies for some people that my brother will probably want one. And anyway, when it's done, at 1/8 scale, the 13-inch wheels will be about, the rim itself will be about the same height as the thickness of a 2x4, just to put it in perspective. So this whole thing is going to be fairly big model. So there's a fair amount of detail that goes into it. As you can see, I've made a fair amount of progress here with my 3D model of the car. I took the red off of the body largely because it was getting confused with the stuff that I was covering in vinyl for the inside to show painting and stuff. But I've gotten the wheel wells done since the last time I saw. It's now, of course, it's now March, so I'm back to work. I couldn't do anything on the car during the time I was off, so I decided to do this to make my 1/8 scale model. Been working on the body. This area of floor isn't there because it's all part of, I can't mirror, well, I could mirror image it, but the mirror, I'm not finished with the hinges yet. So I'm going to do like a hinge and a couple of other things in there. And then once that's done, I can mirror it to the other side. And then I don't have to do things twice. Same with the door, same with the sill. It hasn't been mirrored. But we're going to get to that here. Let's turn off the outer body here. There we go. So we got the inside. And this allows me to do textures in Autodesk. So this is done in red vinyl. This is done in rubber because that is what would be stock is rubber. I'm going to do an overlay of felt when I do the model, so I'm going to do a carpet cutout. But yeah, so as you can see here, I'm just going to turn off a bunch of other things here. I don't need the, oh, I do need that. I don't need that. Oh, I'll need that. Need that. You can see all the different parts that I made to be put together and obviously glued up. There's a structural piece that goes across there as well. Actually, let's turn all that back on. Just turn the whole thing off. There we go. And same with the boot floor. Okay, and inners, front frame, I don't need. Okay, so what I have now, this is my inner sill. And inside of it works better if I can print these as a single unit, even though on the car they're not. But if I print as a single unit, then I've got additional strength because I'm working in 3 dimensions instead of just a flat piece in 2. So yeah, that's why that's done. This simulates, so when we go to paint, we know to paint this part a flat red for the vinyl. This part here will be body color. That'll all be in the instructions when I build the car. And then what I have here is, this is the inner where the hinges will go. I need to make holes for them, but I've got these 2 things are backer plates. They fit in the gaps. I'm going to put holes through, and then when I put the hinge on, which I measured and will show you in a second, drill holes through, and then that'll be done. Then I'll make the hinge, which I'm going to do today. So we're going to show you a little bit of the actual work on this thing. I'm going to want to make a sketch on this plane. This is to make the holes for all this. So I selected this plane and create sketch. There we go. So now that's there. Now where I want these is, let's hide this. So I want to line up with these, but I'm still on this plane. So going to be, let's start with a line down the middle and make it a construction line. And I want it to be, okay, I'm going to just do this weird, just so I can show you how this really works. So now I select that line. Now I want this line to be vertical, so I can set it to be vertical. I want it to be parallel to this. And where do I want it? I want it. Okay, so we have the dimensions worked out so that the holes end up on my sliders. And the sketch is all going to be good. So I'll show you. So that's where we're going to make the hinges. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to extrude the holes in the hinge plate. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and it's going to go not from the profile plane, which is what we drew it on, but it's going to go from this object. I'm going to start there. And instead of going a distance, I'm going to put it to another object. I'm going to set it to here. And there you see it cuts through on both of them. Okay, so now those are cut. So now I'm going to go back, whoops, to this angle here and this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the sketch visible again. They go invisible as soon as you extrude something. So make it visible. So what I want to do now is I want to extrude this hole, this hole, this hole, and this hole. Oh, and I want to get the center of it too, actually. Now I'm thinking about it, so I want to make sure I get all that. And I want this to go from this object, and I want it to go through to there. Okay, cut. So now what I have, if I make the sketch invisible again, so I've cut the holes, and then through there, through the back side, you can see when I take this away, there's those holes, this hole here, so when the hinge goes through, I can adjust it, and that has gone on both. So what I want to do, I want to extrude right So I've got everything except for the hole that goes through for the nut, because it doesn't need to adjust on the hinge. The hinge will move, right? Along with the back plate. So the hinge and this hinge, when it's in there, and this back plate, when I loosen these screws, they'll be able to move around through the hole that's in this. You'll see. Anyway, so I want a new body, and I want to bring this out, let's say 1.5 millimeters. That's, I think, the minimum we can do for strength. It's a new part. We'll start it at the profile plane, and I want to bring it distance, bring it 1.5 millimeters. So now I have a new part, extrude hinge base. Hide you for the moment, and hide you for the moment. Now we've got these little things that come out here. This one and this one. These are the ribs that come out to hold the door hinge, right? So now, this one. They are going to go, they're going to start. This time they're going to start on this face. Why don't I just make it 2 millimeters? Call it 16 divided by 8. It's easier that way, right? Okay. Well, back at this, as you can see, I made a little progress. I was going to show you how I did the hinges here. The hinges were more complicated than I thought. I started by measuring the original size of the hinges and put that in. And what happened was, when I used the correct size and distance, the thickness, because of scale of the door, kept interfering with the A-pillar. The door skin and the A-pillar didn't get along, and actually at one point the hinges didn't even get along. So what I've done is I've actually, here I'll show you, actually redesigned the hinges. They look like they're fairly stock. There's going to be a pin go in there. Right now I've got them set up so that they work as a pivot, and there's going to be a screw here. There's the hinge anyway. So you can see the hinge, and it's kind of close to what it was, but it's not quite, oops, not quite the same because of the scale. And then if I go to here, so yeah, we designed that so that this can go in and out and up and down, and then the catch on this side is going to be put in. It's going to be there. It's going to do the same. You can see there, you've got the gaps there for the holes. It's just the nature of the scale model. If the gap was down to where it was gapped at 1 millimeter, this would not, I would have interference at the front and the back, so I couldn't even adjust it out. As it is, what I've done is I've set it up. You can see here the gap there closes. Well, that looks worse than it is. There we go. See, there's still a gap. And this door opens all the way to 85 degrees. And you can see there's the gap there. And at the back, the gap is clear. So I guess I could move it back a bit, but I kind of wanted the gaps to be consistent or all the way around the door. But anyway, that is where I've gotten to. I'm sorry I didn't show you more on the hinge. I know I promised I would, but it was a 2-day odyssey just trying to get it to work in such a way that the door would open and close. In the meantime, we have a quick tour around the car. I haven't done the mirror image of the door and hinges yet, obviously, or this floor piece. The reason I haven't done this floor piece is because there is a little support right there. You see that comes up on this face, so I need to do that. And then I also need to put in seat belt mounts where the seat belts are going to go. So once I do that, then I will duplicate that floor as well. And the underside is actually fairly detailed here. I don't know if you can really appreciate that or not, but we got a fair amount of detail there. And under the bonnet is, whoops, under the bonnet's looking pretty good too. Let me get rid of the bonnet here. So, oh, and maybe the grill. So we got her looking fairly decent in there. It's not going to be perfect because of the scale modeling. You know, you got to do a certain amount. But that is where the 3D model is at. It is now spring. It's finally started to warm up, and I'm going to get out and start working on the actual car here pretty soon. But this was a good winter project. Sorry the videos have taken a while here. Between videos, it's been a combination of work, health, and cold, and unfortunately it just is what it is. I wish I could make things happen more quickly, but I cannot. So we're going to get out and we're going to get working on that bonnet here, hopefully in my next set of days off, which should be in about a week or so. So anyway, you guys have a great and happy spring and Easter and summer, and we'll get back to work on the car here.